Ni hao, Adam.
Ni hao.
Ni hao, Adam. 我是 RJ.
Okay, sure. I'm not even. I think it's best that I don't.
I think it's best that you don't either.
Welcome to another episode of Boys Love, Boys Love. This time we are starting our recaps for
Stay With Me,
which was 2023's Chinese, mainland China.
BL? We probably should have done a little research of like her story going in. But I also want to just like watch a show and let the story take
Let
us
it
over,
affect
you know?
me.
Yeah.
Because I know it's like another property and it's like another thing. And
It's technically the second adaptation of the story. Well, we announced that the Berets will decide between Stay With Me or History 3 Trapped, like end of
Taiwan.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
And just because of build up and exchange, we have not had time to slot it in.
Yeah.
And now we finally do. Here we are.
It's a lot of work, guys.
It's a lot of work and a lot of content.
Yeah. So,
But we're here to provide. We're back with the gays.
well, we don't know.
Or maybe just guys who
Or maybe we're
like
just
each
guys
other.
who are platonically friends.
Yeah.
Just two buddies.
Just two buddies that love.
So this week we watched episodes 1 and 2. There are
Yes.
24 episodes in the season. So we're going to tag team each recap to be the first 2 episodes because they're only like 30 minutes each.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of what we were trying to do with Cherry Magic, because Cherry Magic also had like a lot of episodes, but they were short.
But we split it up and did 2 a week.
Well, we tried to, yeah.
We tried to.
We fell off halfway through.
This way, we're just like, because then if we did, that's 24 weeks. That's a lot.
That's half the year gone.
That's half the year gone.
And I mean, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy this, but I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it for half of a year.
Yeah. So this way, we can just
Churn and burn.
churn and burn.
Mm-hmm.
Tina Burn.
I have never watched a Chinese drama ever in my life. Period.
I can't recall if I have either.
And even in Mandarin, the only thing I've seen is last year we watched
Marry My
Dead
Dead
Body.
Body.
So that period. I talked about a couple years ago I watched a Chinese documentary.
Ascension.
That was nominated for Best Picture.
I've seen Chinese films. So like,
See, I've never even seen Chinese films.
because I took an Asian literature class in college. And so we watched. Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah. It was like my last English credit.
So we have 2 main leads. There's Su Yu, who's played by
Zhang Xiong.
Shang Chongmin. Oh God. And then Ubin. Oh, Ubi, who's played by Shubin.
No. Oh, no. Oh, gosh.
I'm assuming that by putting our thoughts out about Stay With Me, a Chinese drama, we're probably on a CIA list now. I'm gonna just assume that at this point.
Our goal is to have our reactions of whatever we're recapping on YouTube on our Patreon. So, because I don't think we've ever said that, like officially.
Oh. Yeah.
So
It's a good time to start.
yeah, Stay With
4
Me.
shows in.
Our Stay With Me, we do have reactions on Patreon. And we mentioned that like we just know so little about China
in
America.
Mama. I mean, it's crazy that there are like, I guess it's not insane because I know Shanghai and I know Beijing, but there are so many Chinese, I said this in the reaction, but there are so many Chinese cities that are like
You don't
the
even know.
the most populous cities on earth.
Yeah.
And I could not tell you their names.
Yeah.
And I feel like for most countries, I could tell you their top populous cities.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Go ahead. And they are.
What were you surprised by just from watching these 2 episodes?
I was very surprised at how like Asian drama it was. I know that sounds silly to say, but I feel like the BLs that we've seen, kind of follow their own structure and format. This felt like I was watching like a K-drama, like a straight BL, like on Netflix.
Well, I think
There's-
it's not really.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it.
Yeah. But there's just like the melodrama mixed in with the goofy, with like
I love it. It's so good.
These very glamorous shots of the actors. There's just like a
Stock characters.
yes, archetypes.
Yes.
So it's just like, oh, I feel like this is a show that like my mom could easily watch.
Oh,
And
sure.
she would eat it up because
Yeah.
it's like just like, you know, the Asian dramas that get churned out.
Yeah.
So that was, I think, what I was most surprised with, because we've been watching like BLs that kind of have their own like identity in that way.
Yeah. I would say the thing that shocked me the most or surprised me the most was like I think of all the different nations like dramas that we've watched, like we're the most familiar with Korean dramas. And they can get very languid.
Yeah.
They can like take a long time to develop.
Yes.
And the pacing in this
pace here is so fast.
Great. It's
I
so
literally
quick.
we watched the 2 episodes and I was like, I could sit and watch like 6 more.
Oh, it's so digestible.
Yeah.
And not in a way where it's like the content isn't thoughtful.
It's like, it's not just like candy that you're just eating and then you'll just go. It's
Right.
still very much like heavy stuff.
There's got a story.
Yeah.
For sure.
Still deep.
So let's get into this episode. So in episode 1, we meet Suyu, who goes to a regular school.
They keep saying, like, the stepmom or the mom says, like, she just goes to an average school. But Adam was gooped and gagged because I was like, it's huge.
This is a photo of the high school that I went to. This
And
is a photo of the
the
high school from the show.
Yeah,
I went to a prison.
you did. And you know what? The school shut down already. So
And the school, no, not at the end of this year. At the end of this school year, they're closing. And then there's now talks that it might become a charter school.
we are,
It's all going downhill.
yeah, we are, girl.
So he goes by some aunties on the street who were like gossiping.
It's giving pick a little, talk a little. And honestly, what a great way to do exposition. Because that's such a natural way for people to like, it's a believable way for people to be nosy and go into it deep detail.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like he walks by and it's just like, oh, did you hear that his mom, blah, 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 blah. And it's like,
It's also interesting
So
because this is,
accessible.
of all the BLs that we've recapped for the channel, this is the one that's the most expansive in terms of like the world outside
I
of
know.
the main 2 characters.
that's so interesting. You're right. Because in everything we've seen, or most of the else we watch, it's just like the unit
So hyper focused
so
on
close to just the 2, and then like they're either closest friends or just like their direct family.
Yeah.
But here it's like, oh, it's like a village,
them. Yeah.
and you know everyone. You know everyone's business.
Little town.
Yeah.
It's a quiet village. Every day. Like the one before.
I think Shakespeare wrote that.
Do you have any did you just want to say you really went off in the reaction about the aunts gossiping, so I didn't know if you wanted to really
Oh yes, I said it in the reaction that like we as just like the human
condition
condition
must not apologize
must
for
not
itself.
must not apologize for itself. But just like humanity in general, there is one thing that we all communally have in our cultures, and that is
Gossip
gossiping aunties specifically. Your moms, sisters, and cousins
and friends.
and friends. And it's either with a meal, playing a card game of some kind, you know, card
Bridge,
tiles.
Sure, mahjong.
Mahjong. And just like getting down with what's going on.
Or while cooking. It's a big one.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, it's literally my family's pastime.
Yeah, I would say your family's probably not unique in that way. I think it's a
Yeah.
lot of families' pastime.
Your family, it's funny with your family because like you and your sisters will get together and we'll just like talk about your family, And then but like your nieces and nephews are like older now. So they're like in high school and like, all graduated high school. So they're kind of doing it now too. And it's just like, now wait a damn minute. The cycle must stop. It's fun when I do it, but don't say that about your cousin.
Yeah.
It's very that energy.
I think the interesting thing about, I can't believe we're taking time on this show to talk about this.
Gossip.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's a way, especially as like gay kids who are way more interested. Typically, I don't want to speak for all gay men, blah, 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 blah. But typically,
But we will. For the,
and I am.
The 10 that are watching.
We're way more interested in like what our female family members are doing more than our men.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it is a way especially to learn that to learn that kind of cattiness that only happens when you're talking about stuff like this.
Yes. And like understanding that
the deliciousness of like women.
Yes.
Very Capote.
Yes.
Yeah.
The swans. It's that thing of also like knowing your boundaries of like what we can talk here with our sisters, with our aunts, with our family, but then like completely like keeping up with the Joneses outside of the house.
Sure.
Where you're just like, oh yeah, absolutely. Emma, you look so great. And then, at church. And then as soon as you're in the car, you're just like, did you see
black stockings, white shoes
shouldn't be allowed in the church. Literally.
We thought those were aunts. They're just like
the village
gossip
aunts. The village
ladies.
Aunts.
Yeah.
It's truly,
but it's not even like, they're also his mom's friends. Like they're just ladies.
They're just ladies
out and about.
Yes, because they're, they know his dad. They just have been in that village for so long.
Yeah. There's this like really funny scene where he goes home. His dad is scammed by a potato situation.
He was being sold like potatoes. Like, yeah, it's a bargain.
But he didn't check the potatoes, and it's all dirt. And then there's a plaster. There's some goofery going on to set up. His dad is simple. His dad is poor, and his dad is simple.
Yes,
that is like the whole point. But he's really kind. He's very kind. This is like where the stock characters start coming.
Yes, and I'm sorry, they just on a deep, simple human level, stock characters. There's a reason why they still work.
Yes.
Because they're just, you immediately connect with the archetypes. And you're just like, oh.
Well, they're archetypes for a reason. Yeah. I mean, it is the lack of specificity in archetypes that make them so usable. Yeah. So I do want to say, shout out, I always like, exposition is hard to write.
Yeah.
It can be. It can be clunky, and some of it on the other storyline is a little clunky in the way it's delivered.
Yes.
But I like having the aunts talk about it as he walks by them.
Yes, totally.
Because it's a good way for like the audience to learn, but also like, of course, they would be talking about it.
Yeah.
So
it's very Greek chorus in a way, right? Where you're like, they're also watching what's happening.
So flip to Ubi. You do pronounce the W.
Yeah. Wubi.
In
yes,
Chinese.
In Chinese. Yeah.
Wubi's mom has passed away at an early age. We don't really know. She's been dead for a minute.
Yes. She's a painter, she's an artist,
she's sculptress. And so Wubi is having a hard time dealing with that trauma.
Yeah, still grieving.
Generational trauma, family trauma. Now, I clocked this so fast, and I want to shout myself out because before in the past when we've watched shows,
it takes you a while.
There have been things that I have been like, I didn't see that coming until it was happening.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, girl.
Now this, so we found out at the first part, Suyu's mom, we'd find out from the aunties, Suyu's mom is marrying a rich guy, and his parents are divorced. We meet Wubi, and we find out that there is a new stepmom who has a a son who is like a similar age and like also is in high school, blah, blah, blah. And I said,
wait,
this is them. They are going to be stepbrothers.
Yeah.
No.
And you immediately bought into it. You were like, I'm sad.
It's great. When we start doing the like, people are connected, but they don't realize they're connected. It's so good.
It's so satisfying.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Wooby obviously is not taking well to his new stepmom.
He literally is like, my mom is dead. And that is the only person that I will ever call mom. So if you want to be called mom, you should also be dead.
You should drop dead too.
Ooh, girl.
Okay. There's definitely going to be there's going to be some weird, like his dad is like, seems like a dick, but also like,
But like not
I
trying.
can't tell.
Yeah. He's
It's
also,
not-
there's some shots of him just like being sad and not sad, but he'll also just like drink and like isolate himself. He doesn't want to like share the grieving with his son.
He's not trying.
It's like I move on, you gotta move on.
In the great canon of BLs that we have watched, maybe not on this channel, but in general, I would say the worst father
So far, no.
of all the ones that we've watched is the one from Where Your Eyes Linger.
Yes, because he put a hit on his
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say he's quite there. He's more in the middle
Yes.
of just being like distant
Just kind of
father.
misplaced. I mean, kind of like
Another stock character, distant father.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of Cow Tongue's dad.
Ever figure out when someone was like, stop calling him Cow Tongue, it's Cow Tongue? And we were like,
But what's
you can't type that out and expect me to understand what you're saying.
It kind of reminds me of Cow's dad in Only Friends.
A little bit of that, for sure. I was also thinking of the dad from A Shoulder to Cry On. It reminded me of that too.
Which is like misplaced grief.
Yes, and the fact that he moves out.
Then he moves out. Yeah. That's really what I thought about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very shoulder to cry on.
I have a lot of questions about like a 16-year-old moving out and living. I don't understand. I have a lot of questions.
Yeah. It's just because our like American culture is so ingrained of like you have to wait till you're 18. I think that's just the stage.
Yeah. Yes. There is like an emancipation process you can do, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really talking about that. I mean, the other weird thing about American though is like you have to wait till you're 18, and then at 18 you're pretty much expected to be out of your parents' house.
Yeah.
So
Ubi was literally like, "You're not my mom," and then goes to his mom's old studio that has been like abandoned.
it's still like intact.
It's still intact, and then he has a
which
flash.
shows that there's still some, I think, love there from
because they've kept all
dad.
of that. Yeah, it's not like they packed her shit up.
Right.
But they do this like split screen of like him watching in present at like a warm memory of his mom while he
We've
was
got
young.
cold blue lighting on him presently
And
and,
then
warm lighting on them in the past. And I was like, it's giving visual
And the mom was-
storytelling.
The mom was carving and painting a little statuette.
Yeah.
And the little boy Ubi was like, "What are you doing? Who is that?" And she was like, "I made a new friend. She has a son.
Yeah.
And I want him to look like, and I'm giving this as a gift." And then in the present,
and he has a mole
and he has a mole in his ear.
on his ear.
Yes.
Which is good luck. Is that what she said?
Yeah. Or like smart.
They're smart. That's what it is.
And on the present, he has
Of course
like
they're smart.
and then the present Wubi has a kind of voiceover like talking to his mom. And it's like, that's basically like that woman is now has taken your spot, has replaced you.
Yeah. Or is trying to at least.
That's the K-drama aspect of it for me of like, of course it is your mom's friend who has now become close with your widow father, you know?
So Suyu is like walking home from school like the next day, a couple days later, because we find out that Wooby's character goes to a really good international high school. And so they talk at dinner like maybe we can get Suyu
to your school.
By the way, none of these names are like ever said.
Yeah.
In the conversation because they can't know each other or whatever.
So they're just like, yeah, my son,
blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So she was like, "Oh, we'll get him to go to the international school."
Literally, this entire time, I thought that Suyu was gonna get plucked out of the school, which I thought was like, oh, we're gonna see the other school.
We have 22 more episodes, honey. We don't know what's gonna happen.
We don't know what's gonna happen.
So, she catches up with Suyu. She takes him out to lunch, and she's like, "I'm going to take you to the international school because that's where your stepbrother." I mean, they are stepbrothers. That's where your stepbrother goes. So you're going to go there. We got an in because you're so smart. Blah blah blah. And he like, does not want to do it.
No, he also has kind of cast out his mom.
It's very chip on the shoulder. It's very child of divorce. I can say that as a child of divorce. It's a very child of divorce energy.
And he really says it here that like you left us because we're poor.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's not that.
But she doesn't say what. I mean, she says what the problem is like between your father and I.
It's like we're different people or something like that.
Right. But she does not specify what happened. So that's got to come back, right?
Well, there was just a little bit of detail. They were having this lunch and he's eating like the fries and she is like,
we love a metaphor.
And she was like, well, don't just eat the potatoes. Those are just side dishes. Eat like the meat too that came with the plate.
Potatoes were the thing that
the potatoes were the thing
scam.
that his dad like spent all of his money just to get because it would have been good luck or it was like such a good deal.
That's really good writing. That's really good. Yeah. I was very impressed with that.
Whoopi is also not happy.
No, I don't. I mean, that's just a blanket statement for these 2 episodes for sure. And the thing is that he doesn't know which high school he currently goes to. So she just says, "Oh, he just goes to." This is the very clunky part where she was like, "I don't even remember what the name of the school is.
Just some average school.
Just some average school." So he ends up transferring there. That's the story.
To the school. To his exact class.
There is this like part where Suyu is walking with his friend and his friend is making fun of him because he has a frozen face. Mm-hmm. Okay. There are two metaphors in this episode. There's the potato metaphor and then there's the frozen face metaphor for the statue. The potato one really works. The frozen face, I was like, the only reason it doesn't work for me. Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's something lost in translation.
It's not even the translation really because they're drawing a parallel to the statue, which I understand.
Yeah.
The thing is that they are too similar of characters right now.
They're both.
There's not enough to distinguish them from each other.
The only thing that we get is that Suyu is kinder because of his dad and his situation.
That's what we're led to believe. We get that a lot when Duo comes in, the little girl, which is in the next episode.
Duel. Yeah.
Duel. Oh God. But it doesn't really happen here. He's just really sullen in this episode.
Yeah.
But Wooby is also really sullen.
Yes.
So it's a little.
And
that's my biggest criticism of this pilot.
But the thing is now that they're about to be in the same class together.
Yes. Not only did he transfer to school, he transferred to his exact same class.
And now they're kind of going to have to like butt heads because Wooby is like, he knows that Suyu is the class like monitor and is not really impressed with him or like doesn't pay attention to him at all.
Right.
And that obviously, like any, classic rich kid who gets away with everything and the one person that doesn't care is obviously the one thing that he's gonna like obsess about.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because it's so different in his life. Like one person who doesn't just do what I want to do.
Yeah. Someone who stands up to him.
Stands up to him, yeah.
Now this is our first high school drama for the channel.
For the channel.
On YouTube. Remind me, you are in one class.
You are in one class and the teachers come in and out.
Right. Okay. That is fascinating to me. So the odds of him ending up in his class are even lower than in like an American high school where you're
in
all
multiple
mix
classes.
around. Yeah.
Which I would say in the international school probably follows that. Because even
really?
because even in the Philippines, like their international schools follow an quote unquote American
style,
where it's like that.
interesting. I like the idea of the teacher switching.
It's nice because you get the same chair the entire year.
It's your desk.
Yeah.
The whole day. Mm-hmm. That's nice. And then there's this funny part where everyone's like sleepy
in
so the
class.
teacher's like, Suyu, come up and sing a song for the class. Okay, this was not explained.
Yeah.
He sings apparently an old song.
But it's like
But something about the song makes Wooby think of the doll.
yeah.
Because later when he comes up to him, when he confronts him, he's like, why were you singing an old song?
Uh-huh.
But that isn't laid out in the beginning part of this episode.
I think it's probably a song that his mom used to sing too.
No, I mean, I totally understand that.
what it is,
The problem is that they had not established that, so it's weird to just then be like, oh, and also another thing that you don't know. Because it should be the thing that like...
A nugget.
It should be the one thing that
But I feel like they're probably going to save this nugget for later.
Oh, maybe. So then Wooby says that he looks like the statue. And this is when Suyu is like, don't tell me I look like I have a frozen face. It's very insulting.
Yeah. Which just means that he's just like...
He's got resting bitch face. He's got RBF. And King,
we see you.
We see you. I'm seen.
And Mama, thanks for sharing that.
You spilled.
For spilling.
Suyu is sleeping, and he has a
little bow and arrow.
A little bow and arrow at his desk. So Wooby like shoots him with the bow and arrow. It wakes him up. Later, Wooby is like doing a bubblegum moment and like impressing the girls with the size of the bubbles he can blow.
Sure.
That felt very comic to me. That felt very
manhwa. And then he pops it with the
and then
the
he
bow
had
and arrow.
stolen the bow and arrow, so then he popped it and it got all over his face.
So so it's just trying to one up each other.
Yeah. It's
and I'm eating it up, bitch.
Oh, it's great. This is classic. We love this. The end of the episode. So Suyu's dad, kindly poor guy, Zhigang. So Zhigang, Suyu's dad, he goes to eat at a
food stall. Owned by this lady
who has a little daughter.
Named Dwa.
Daughter.
Yeah.
Is that funny? And then, so we established that he like constantly takes her to school, picks her up from school, like walks her to and from school, blah, blah. He's a nice guy so that she can keep working.
And she like gives him more food basically as like
as a thank you. And at the end of the episode, this is, okay, we're all used to the K-drama, like,
yes, the freeze frame and then the frost.
Right. This is just...
No, it's literally like this. We're going to reenact it. For literally, Adam and I paused it and we were like, "Oh, our speakers our headphones got cut off."
We this one we thought that it was YouTube like had frozen.
Yeah, but you were finagling the headphones first.
That happens in the next episode.
And then realized that
that's just YouTube, the ending.
That's the ending.
And then there's a 2.5 minute credit sequence.
And honestly,
and the beginning also, the opening theme is like 2 minutes long.
Yeah, honestly.
So in this 31-minute episode, 5 minutes are just opening and credits.
Yeah.
Overture and
that's the Asian drama, like straight BL. Bitch.
Yeah. So that's episode 1. Should we go to episode 2? Yeah. The episode starts, we're still in this like, they're trying to one-up each other. They have taken an exam. They go to grade each other. The students go to grade each other's exams in this classroom. Wooby steals Suyu's to grade.
And then purposefully changes his answers.
And then like whites out and does like
wrong answers.
So then the next day when they get their tests back, the teacher's like, unfortunately not a lot of you did well, but of course our beloved Suyu aced with a perfect score. As always.
Yeah.
And Wooby's like,
Well, what the fuck?
what the fuck is going on in here on this day?
Yeah. You find out that Suyu's teacher was like, hey, Miss Girl, it's my turn to spill.
This is when I start liking how they're setting up Suyu's character, because it is very easy. It would be very easy to make this character, who is the class like representative and the smartest kid in the class, and a really annoying like teacher's pet character.
Yeah.
But they have not set this character up that way.
He kind of like doesn't care. It's just like he's just naturally smart and people listen to him.
He's just Brill.
Yeah. And he's always sleeping. That's a big thing.
He's constantly sleeping.
Because he knows everything already. So he just sleeps in class.
So he doesn't need to study because he knows it all.
That sounds like your dream. To sleep every time, because it's like I already know everything.
So the closest I've ever been to Suyu, I'm weirdly, not weirdly, some people are just like this. I'm very good at math. Maths. And Mama,
she
geometry
spilled.
and trig.
You spilled?
I could do it in my sleep. I don't know what it is. I think it's because my brain operates like Tetris. So shapes, it's giving shapely.
Yeah.
Literally, I would go to class and I would just like, I got 100% in that class. Wow. I like the only class in my entire life I ever got like a perfect score in.
I think I'm good in math. I did algebra 2 trig, and then there was a option to go algebra 3, algebra 4, and I did not, Miss Mama. I said college algebra for me, girl. I knew I could do it, but I didn't want to.
Wait, stop. So college algebra is less hard than algebra 3, algebra 4? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I would have assumed just algebra. The other way.
It was just algebra again.
No, thank you. I understand that. Oh, you're saying college algebra was just your high school algebra classes all over again?
It felt like it was that. I mean, it was just kind of like, let's just explore more about like this intermediate level algebra. Kind of.
I was not good at pre-cal. That was my last math class I took. Mostly because I was not good at memorizing the formulas. Once I got them in there, I could like do it, but I just could never remember what the formulas were.
And the thing with maths for me, I still count like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shocking.
I literally just like.
But you have your times tables memorized better than I do, though.
Yes, that was a big thing. I mean, like that was a big thing that we had to do. And I made
so runny today.
I made a song for every single one.
What?
To remember.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 30 pizzas just for me.
What? You made this wasn't
No, my friends and I did.
Oh, that's worse. What do you? Is this in the Philippines?
Yes. So that we could remember.
That's the only way you just did threes? Or each one had a...
Yeah, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40.
The lore, the world building, the exposition that is being revealed. Wow.
9 was a gag. Oh, my mama. When we saw 9, and literally the whole class were like, what do you mean you just flip it? Literally, we were gooped, honey.
What grade was this?
I don't even remember. It was all a blur.
I'm trying to remember when you start learning multiplication. Is that 3rd grade or 4th grade?
Maybe 3rd. Literally, you get to 45, and then the teacher was like, girl, flip it and reverse it.
Thanks for saying that.
For spilling. And she spilled.
For spilling.
Yeah, it was great.
Anyway, that was really a real fun trip down memory lane. I will say that I can't do 12s or 11s because I only would like memorize the 10 up to 10.
Oh, yeah.
And then like 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. And then just do that sequence again until 120.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you got your little T9 and
why
you're
is
like,
12
I'm never
times
going to
12
memorize anything.
144? Like, that's ugly. There was one time somebody did this on TikTok where they were like, there are some that are like gross.
Yeah.
Like 11 times 11 being 121.
Mm-hmm.
That's not correct.
Here's the thing that I don't get.
Is it 121?
What's the thing where you like take everything out by tens and then add them? That I don't understand.
Oh, new math, Common Core math or whatever.
That's what's going on right now.
Yeah, so you basically in order to like easily, instead of memorizing. The point is to like get away from memorization.
But memorization is good.
It's not it's not though, because that doesn't actually mean you learned anything. You just memorized it.
And you know what, Mama? I will be Lola RJ in the Senior Citizen Center going 369 12 15 18
Oh my god. Well, this has been a real fun trip
to school. We're just reminded back of high school, you know.
Yeah. And what a great time it was for us.
Oh yeah.
You had a great high school
I did
experience.
not. No, girl.
What
It wasn't until senior year where I was like, okay, I'm fine now.
was your problem?
Going to an all boys school and being a closeted homo.
Homo. Were you gonna say homophobe?
Yeah, I was gonna say closeted homophobe.
Closeted homophobe. And thanks for saying that. For spilling. So the plot of this episode, this is episode 2. The plot of this episode is that the school has new uniforms.
Yes.
And they are not mandatory, but pretty much everyone has bought them.
Yes.
Except for Suyu.
Suyu.
Now,
He didn't bring it up. He didn't tell his dad. This dad didn't even know it existed. It was Suyu's friends who came in and like gave him apples. The largest apples we've ever seen.
like, first of all, you want to talk about multiples of 12. How about 36 apples in the biggest bag you've ever seen? And each apple is like a full Honeycrisp. Like, it's like this big.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Do you know how quickly apples spoil?
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do with those?
And the dad was like, whoa, this is a new uniform. Did you like, were there new uniforms? I didn't see Suyu have one. And he was like, yeah, but they were like voluntary.
So he has a scene with the lady from the food stall later. Mm-hmm. And she's like, gives him shoes to give to his son. And the whole point of the scene is like, well, first of all, he has to do the like very Chinese thing of being like, no, I won't accept your gift multiple times.
Yeah.
Like when you go to a rabbi and you want to convert and they keep saying no. It's like that. They say, she explains in that scene like the thing about being like, well, you know, adolescent boys at that age, like they always want to look good.
Yeah.
As if he wasn't also at one time an adolescent boy, I guess. That's the only thing that I was like, why are you explaining this to this man? Shouldn't he have gone through that period of his life? So that is the whole episode is just like, how are we going to get him this school uniform? So Suyu's at school. He was wearing the new shoes. They're pure white. They're very cute. And of course, Wooby
Is being a little brat.
being a little brat. He's stepping on his shoes. They're playing basketball, and he keeps purposefully like
stepping on
them to get them dirty.
He tries to like wipe them off, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, Suyu goes back. He tries to wipe them off with like a tissue, but there's no tissues. So then, he like has an idea. We cut to Wooby comes back after playing more basketball. And he's like, oh, I need a tissue because I'm so sweaty from working out. And his desk mate's like, oh, I don't have one. So he's like, it's okay. I'll just use this like newspaper that happened to be on my desk, which is very funny to me. He wipes it off. And that is
Inked.
what he had used
To wipe his shoes.
So now it's all over his face. Wow. That is funny. It's very like, I'm trying to think of like, there are shows that I'm thinking of that are like this, where it's like two characters keep
just doing pranks to one another.
Yes, but none of them come to mind right now. Not a single one.
But it's a classic. It's like you don't actually hate this person, but you just
it's a classic like young adult or like teen show thing
where you just want to keep like provoking.
Yes,
But you don't actually care.
provocation.
Yeah. So what does Woobi do to exact
So then
revenge?
Suyu goes to sleep as normal in class. I don't know how that.
I don't know how
did
it
this
happened. Why did
happen
no
and
one see it?
No one saw. I don't know. He glued his shoes to the floor.
Yeah.
But because they're like so stuck, it was like, oh, we'll have to use like a knife to like, and then like his shoes will be ruined.
Huh?
So then Suyu is like, one moment, please.
Writes down like three
NaCl, H2O, like full. What are those called?
elements, chemicals,
Molecules?
chemicals, bitch.
Chemicals?
Yeah.
Solutions.
Yeah.
He like figures out what he needs in order to, with no testing of what the glue is, by the way. He just knows. And he tells his deskmate, hey, go get this from the science department. And he's like, they won't give it to me. And he's like, just tell them Suyu needs it. This is so funny to me.
It's so funny.
I love this world where nothing is real.
Nothing is real. And I love like head honcho in a place where it does not matter that there is a head honcho.
Yes. And also like he's not a bully.
No, but he has all the clout.
But he's not weak.
Yes.
Which is like usually how like nerd characters are written. He's not a nerd, by the way.
No, like everyone respects him,
Yes.
but like just kind of leaves him alone.
Yes.
Which I think is really why
he's an introvert.
Which is really why I think Woobi is so interested in just provoking him, because it's like it feels like nothing is getting to him.
Mm-hmm. You can't ruffle his feathers.
Yeah. So he gets these chemicals and makes his own Gooby gun, literally. And puts them in a dropper, like drops them in the shoes, and then they just peel right off, bitch.
They peel right off, bitch.
And Woobi was like,
gooped.
now
He was like that glue. He was gooped.
yeah, for spilling. And the way, so we watched this on YouTube because the episodes are all on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it goes radio silent. And I mean, I think there was probably a needle drop that was like copyright.
But weirdly, none of the songs have sounded like songs.
They're just like score. So unless they started playing party rock anthem, I don't know what the fuck.
Classic chemistry anthem.
Yeah.
Party rock. Yeah.
They started playing, well, yeah, they probably started playing like Sweet Dreams Are Made of These or whatever. I don't know. Eurythmics, bitch. Mm-hmm. I was going to name like The Scientist, but you don't know that. So
what's that?
It's a song, an old song.
Yeah, but sing
called
it.
The Scientist. I can't wait to meet ya. Tell you I'm sorry. Da, 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 da,
That song is called
da,
The Scientist.
A friend of Kim Seok-jin is a friend of mine. And what about it?
Okay. It is that funny thing though of like, I understand it is important to like hear the tone in which people say their lines. You shouldn't still watch it on like silent. Yeah. But it is funny that there will be times where we'll be watching like a drama and I'll do the thing where I'm like, can you turn it up? I can't hear it. And I'm like,
they are speaking a different language, bitch. I'm reading the subtitles. Yeah.
Can you turn it up?
That's what I was saying. My mom will just watch from anywhere.
Oh yeah. She never has her volume on.
In an elevator, waiting for, I don't know.
At the pool.
At the pool.
She was at the edge of the pool just watching.
Just this. And I was like, and it's silent.
Yes.
And then she's like, I'm reading the subtitles.
Yeah.
And I literally was like,
she's not wrong.
She's not wrong.
It is funny though. Suyu's dad is taking a long time to get home from work, wherever his work is.
Yes,
we still don't
we
really
don't know.
He seems to have maybe he's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, he just takes gigs. Yeah, gig economy.
Gig economy.
But then he also buys lottery tickets a lot. That's his thing. And so he's just like, you know, I go to these guys and blah, blah, blah to get signs of like what the numbers are. So I have to wait all day in order to like get what the numbers will be.
Mm-hmm. So in the meantime, Suyu is playing with Duo.
Please, God.
He's playing with Duo. It's very cute. It's the first time we see him smile, which is very nice. So this is where I'm talking about. We finally like get like We start to diverge the two characters from being
Sulky.
kind of that same
Yeah.
energy. But speaking of Sulky, Wooby is at dinner and blows up at his dad and stepmom
Yes.
and declares that he's moving out.
Yeah.
He's done. Because she's like alluding to the fact that Suyu, who we know as Suyu, might move in.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm not going to live with him.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So he gets an apartment. What are we talking about? This doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because like the dad seemed angry enough that he was like, you're kicked out. But like, you're not getting this apartment on your own.
He probably used his dad's money to buy it.
Right. But this is what I'm saying. How does that work?
Or what I was thinking is maybe it's already a property that his dad owned. But maybe it's like they're leasing or like they're renting out.
He kicked the tenant out.
And he was like,
get the fuck out of here.
So I can move in.
Yeah.
So he moves in and he orders a TaskRabbit, basically.
He orders a TaskRabbit.
And who it is. Look who it is.
Look who it is.
Mr. Girl.
It's Mr. Suyu's dad.
Mr. Suyu's dad.
Suyu Senior.
Yeah. And because of his back, he's really trying.
Well, he's taking like extra jobs.
So
that he can make some extra money so that he can buy the school.
The uniform. I know. Because he's like lifting all of these boxes and Whoopi's like, why are you doing this if you're like so old?
Yeah.
And he's like, I got to buy my son a new school uniform. And Whoopi.
This is also the first time we see him like soft.
Yes. Because he's like, wow, this is what caring fathers do?
Oh. Fascinating.
Yeah. So so basically you start to see his heart. He's like, please sit down and drink some water. Mm-hmm. Like you don't have to go hard.
And then he goes to give him extra money. He won't
he's
take
like,
it.
No.
So then he hires him again for the next day to come and like help unpack.
Unpack, yeah. And it's very sweet because he basically just.
What do you have as a 16-year-old have to pack and move?
That's what I'm saying. He had so many He
had so many boxes. But bitch, even if you were like, I'm going to pack everything in my bedroom,
room, it is not.
That's 4 boxes total. Yeah. And a suitcase for your clothes.
Yeah.
What are we even talking about?
Maybe he loves interior design.
Maybe he's got just a lot of tchotchkes.
Yeah.
Sure.
And he basically like tells Mr. Suyu's dad, like, just like, tell me what it's like to be you, to be a dad. And he basically tells his story of like how what he's dealing with his family. Mm-hmm. And basically Suyu's dad is like, dads inherently love their children. They just people just show it differently.
Sure.
Would you like to contest that?
I think the evidence speaks for itself.
Ooh.
I think this is a fun, not real world that this show lives in. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's lovely.
That's why we watch entertainment, to escape.
To escape.
Yeah.
To worlds unlike our own.
I just feel like I'm talking, like, what do you trying to get out of this? Like, how am I helping you? And Whoopi's like, basically like, there's the companionship, obviously, that like he doesn't get from his family currently. So
yeah,
it's nice. There's a surrogate.
There's not really a family dynamic going on over there in that
little
house.
Surrogate father moment.
Sure. Can we talk about the weirdest thing in this episode? So there is a scene where Duol is like playing out on the street. And a car drives up and is like, we're looking for this person.
And she's like, oh, that's my teacher.
That's my teacher. And they're like, oh, do you know where she lives? Can you take us to her? And she's like, yeah. And they're like, okay, get in the car.
And she basically says, no.
And she very much is like, no, I will not get in a stranger's vehicle. And then like looks at camera.
Yeah. And then they were like, okay. So
and then they
becomes
were like
a fun montage.
Okay.
It becomes like a fun little thing because she's like running and
she's
it's like,
leading the car.
Yeah, she's like, follow me, just like, drive in neutral as I run and then lead you there. And then they get to the teacher and the teacher was like, oh my God, like she's so nice, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she's so
smart.
Yeah, she's so smart. Yeah. But Adam was like, that felt a little
Felt
a little PSA. It felt a little after school special.
It felt a little after school special, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was so clearly like...
Because at first I thought that she was going to get into the car, and I was like, oh no, are they kidnapping this kid?
I mean, I didn't...
On episode 2?
On episode 2, I was like, I didn't know what was happening.
I don't know what to expect.
But then...
it turned into the complete opposite of being like,
it wasn't even
no.
The car wasn't necessary for the scene, right? Like, there could have just been 2 people out on the street that just walked up and were like, we're looking for this person.
Yeah.
And she could have just walked them to them.
Yeah.
It was like a very conscious decision for them to do this way. And I was like...
That Adam was feeling very much like, okay, like maybe government funds entertainment. Kind of like,
I don't know how anything...
Like,
I have no knowledge of how anything works in China, as I've already said at the top of this episode.
Yeah.
But I was curious if there was like...
Not maybe, I don't know if it's like an obligation, but it's like, it's also a way to just...
It was very much like, we're going to model good behavior for the audience of this show.
Yes. To be a good, upstanding citizen.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I was like, oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And like...
we do it.
Everybody,
like,
everybody does it. I just thought it was like so blatant.
Because it was very blatant. I mean, they did it under the guise of like to show like her personality. Like she's not a pushover kid. Like she's got some moxie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because again, she's kind of like Suyu.
Mm-hmm.
All the characters are kind of similar.
Yeah. So that's your big note so far. Is like you need more character distinction.
Yeah, I think
right
so.
away. Especially since it feels like this show is very stock character.
Yes, that's what I mean.
So it's like, but then like the two are a little too similar.
The other thing we didn't talk about, and maybe we can ask the folks watching, what's going on with the ADR?
Oh, yes. So I noticed this of like the 2 leads have ADR and almost kind of like vignette glamour shots when it's like focused on them, that I was like, are they because Love for Love's Sake did it where they'll do ADR and they record it, but for here it feels like a conscious decision again to
this felt like every line was ADR.
Yes,
Love for Love's Sake had it like specific scenes where it was like
yes.
outside usually,
but here it's like just the 2 leads for the most part felt like it was ADR for the whole thing,
even in scenes where they were with another person.
Yeah,
like the other person would be live audio and then like,
so that's when Adam and I thought, we're like, oh, is this like a thing to just kind of like show that they are larger than life still, even though it's a very realistic like show.
Yeah,
that they are like, they're the stars.
Yeah,
you know?
there's like a sheen.
There's an extraction of like, I am present watching. Yeah, presentational.
Yeah.
So
it's curious.
Yeah.
It's good though.
What do you think so far of the show?
I really like it.
I do too. I think it moves so fast. The pace is, but not in a way that I feel like I'm missing anything. Like it's just moving along, which makes me curious. Like, oh, because I think this extends like all the way to like them after school, like as like young adults. I think it's gonna span time.
Maybe.
So
MVP?
Right now, it's Wooby's little fucking...
It's Wooby.
Sexy face. I'm so sorry.
It's so...
I love a shark face.
I know.
Oh, God.
Pointed
I love
features.
a rich guy.
I know.
Oh, God. I love...
A brooder.
I love Twink.
Is that your I love mess?
That's my Marie Kondo. Yeah. I love Twink. What about you? Same?
Since you took that, I'll take the dad.
I was about to say the dad was my second one.
The dad is great.
But
I also do like the stepmom character.
Me too.
Because I think she's not a villain.
No, and I feel for her.
I do. Yeah. I think I don't know. There's something there.
I hope it doesn't turn into a villain character. I hope that there's some redemption in there, which I feel like is the vibe I'm getting. Because even if there was that like weird shot of when Wooby was leaving, his dad was still kind of like sad in the corner, that I'm like, oh, I think there's going to be some sort of redemption.
Well, I think the point is that probably the show doesn't really have an antagonist. It's just like...
we're all doing our best.
Yeah. We're all trying.
Yeah.
Grief.
Yeah. But Mama, I'm living. So
It's great. I'm really excited. This is really enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And I love listening to Mandarin.
yeah.
Just washes over the ears.
再见.
Oh.
谢谢. 再见.
Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.